Hey everyone, my name is Sarah, and I'm going to be assessing my technology integration in my classroom. I currently teach 7th and 8th grade math, so I do think my technology is limited, so I feel like I ranked myself pretty low in a lot of these, but I definitely saw some ways that I can grow. To begin, I start with the active learning. I currently believe I'm at the adoption level. Currently in my classroom, at the end of each chapter, in addition to a test, I also assign a choice board to allow students to show their understanding in a different way. However, many of the choices there are pre-selected by me with very little options for them to go out and pick their own technology. I did like the future cities video example and the adaptation level, and I feel like that's something I could do in my classroom. So I would like to find different tools and resources that can be used throughout the year that the students can use when they feel like it's needed and can work best for them. As for collaborative learning, again, I think I'm at the adoption level. I periodically share pre made documents on our LMS system. We use Schoology so students can access them and work on them with a partner. They're typically just worksheets or escape rooms, kind of one tier technology that I kind of picked for them. I do would like to move on to the infusion level. I would like students to find their own online tools that can be used in class in a productive way, not just in class, but also in the real world. Um, my biggest fear is that students are going to more use it to cheat. So I think that's why I limit that, but I got to get out of my own mindset with that concept. For constructive learning, I do think I'm at the adaptation level for this one. However, I only do this like once or twice a year, so that's adaptation level is probably a stretch. But we do an end of year build your dream house project. Students get to pick from like three houses that I did pre-select in their neighborhood. They have to find the areas of certain walls, of the floors, of the rooms, and everything, and then use resources in their community. They can go online to find different prices for the supplies they're going to need if they're going to use labor. And then they also have a budget to stick to. So any money that they have left over after creating their house, they can use to furnish in any way they want. So it's a good real life skill, but again, I only do it about once a year, maybe twice. And that's why I feel like Infusion was the next level. And that one, to me, the biggest difference was allowing students to do this more often throughout the school year and let them do it at their own pace. So I think I would have to start this in the beginning of the school year with one of these big projects and continually do it throughout the year so the students build confidence in using these different tools. Next, for authentic learning, I do think I'm at the entry level. I'm going to be quite honest with the math, and some of you may be able to relate. I do feel like I'm very tied to the curriculum and wanting to pass the PSSAs, wanting to pass the keystones. So I do feel like I'm very tied to the curriculum, having students understand the basics of just straight problems, then slowly building into word problems, and then real life application. And with the curriculum, I feel like there's no time. So I do kind of feel tied back. However, after watching some of the video examples, the one I saw in the adaptation level was actually for second grade, but I think I could use it in my seventh and eighth grade classrooms. They went and they took pictures out in the world. They went outside, looked like their garden, and then came in and worked together to create their own word problems. I think that's something I can do again, like I said, with my older grades. We talk about percents, discounts, things like that. I think getting some ads going out, finding deals even online, and then having them create their own word problems and then maybe share within the class to solve. So it's kind of tying that real world, like where do you see these discounts? How could you find the new price and so on. So I do think that's a very realistic goal of mine that I can reach. And then finally, goal directed learning. I believe, again, I'm at the entry level. I think it's partially me being afraid to let go. But we use platforms such as iExcel and Get More Math quite frequently in my class. And I set a goal for them to reach. So for iExcel, they have to get to an 85. Get More Math, they have to get to 50 points. majority of the students kind of just stop at those scores. They see 85 and they stop. They don't want to push themselves. But I do have a few that actually want to go. They said, I can get to a 100. I can do that. Or and get more math, get to that expert level. Um, so that small percentage, I do want to slowly move on to the adoption level. I am only moving one step. I feel like I should be planning to go a little bit further. But I just don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't want my students to be overwhelmed with any of the tools. But I would like to put them in place to encourage those that do just stop at the 85 to see that it is possible to get to a 90, it is possible to get to 100. But again, I would like to do this piece by piece and not just jump to the top tier, top level, and everyone be overwhelmed and confused. But after looking through this matrix, I definitely see areas where I can progress and help me and help my students. So I'm hoping to learn